Hi, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and today we're picking the garlic. In fact, we should have really been picking the garlic by the looks of it about a week ago or 10 days ago, because when I did a test pick yesterday, I think I picked 10 bulbs, about 4 of them had split. Now that's not a disaster, because split bulbs are useful for a few things. For a start, you could use them next year, or this in October, to plant your next batch. But what we're going to do is preserve them. So we're either going to pickle them, or we're going to make garlic butter, or freeze them or whatever. So it's no real big deal. Or of course we could just use them in the next month or so. And the rest of them are going to go into store. And so it's not ideal, because ideally none of them would be split. And then we could kind of at our leisure decide what we want to do with them. But anyway, it is what it is. And the split because we just had a drought for 10 weeks, and then basically we just had a little flush of rain for the last probably actually about 10 days. But it's been on and off. We haven't had any really heavy rain, but we've had enough to really saturate the garlic bed. They put on that spurt of growth and they split the outer. Now why does that matter? Well, it matters because it's that outer sheath basically around the cloves that protects them and over winter, stops them drying out too much basically. And so you really you've got to make sure that that is intact if you want to still be eating garlic in March or April or something like that. If you're just looking to eat them in September and October, then they're probably okay just with them split. There'll be no problem. So anyway, we're going to get on. So this is what we're picking, and I'm afraid I don't know the varieties. They're just random cloves that we've saved over the years and planted. And I've left one down here from my test, so you can see what I mean about them splitting. The outer sheath is split. As I said, it's not a problem per se, it just kind of forces the issue as to what we do with them. And then down here, these plants where we've removed the scapes, these are all elephant garlics down here. And so we haven't really had many elephant garlic. Last year we mostly got rounds, so these are the planted rounds, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of size we get from these. If you look at the size of the shanks, they're looking like a decent size, so I'll be excited to pull those, especially that one at the end there. Just look at the size of that scape. That is impressive. That is really impressive. It's really flexible as well, so that should probably make good eating. It'll be interesting to try that in my dinner tonight, I think. So the next to the broad beans, and we're just harvesting these broad beans. We had a quarter of the bed every week, so whether that makes sense or not I'm not really sure, because they look pretty big now, and I'm wondering whether I should harvest them all in bulk now. Perhaps I should do that, but anyway, concentrate on the garlic, Steve. So John and Jen have been busy doing the harvest, and there's Robin talking in the background, and we are pretty pleased. I was worried that quite a lot of these would be split, because when I did the test a few were, but actually only those few were split, so by comparison that's pretty good. And these are the elephant garlics, looking pretty nice too, and we only had about 3 monobulbs as well, so that's good. So here's all the garlic drying. It's in my little greenhouse. It's got a mesh on to reduce the heat. The roof light is open and the door is open all the time so that we get lots of free movement of air through here. You really do need lots of ventilation when you're doing the garlic. So ideally the garlic's not really touching each other, and as you can see when I put it in here, some of it is, but it's probably going to be just fine. We leave the roots on and the leaves on. Why do you do both of those? So when you leave the leaves on, goodness from the leaves is drawn down into the cloves, and so you get better, more nutritious garlic apparently when you do that. Why do we leave the roots on? Well, apparently when you leave the roots on, it kind of just moderates the drying rate. So the roots lose heat, lose water, and if it's moist atmosphere, they gain water. So there's just kind of like a moderating effect on the drying rate, apparently. So we do that. It's also useful because you can kind of tell when the garlic is nice and dry, partly because the roots will be all just kind of completely crumbly. And so that's kind of a good test. And then we'll snip the roots off kind of like that. Just leave a little stump there. Basically, we're just trying to make sure we don't damage anything around here. We've got to keep this outer sheath intact, because that's what allows the garlic to keep for so long. If this is breached here, then use your garlic within a month or so, a couple of months, or preserve it in some other way. So we'll chop that off, and obviously we'll chop the stem off here as well. But that will be when this is fully dry. Depends on the weather. That might be 2 weeks, might be 4 weeks. As I say, we kind of test it based on all of this foliage will be nice and dry, and these roots will be nice and crumbly. So I've got quite a lot in here. All the top shelves are done, all the second shelves are done, some of the third shelves are done. We've got some over here as well. So this is a good, really good stock of garlic. We also are planting at the moment more green garlic to keep us going. We really like green garlic, and we've got some bulbs, cloves rather, from last year that are sprouting, and obviously they'll be no good for planting in October, but they are good for planting now. So they won't mature into garlic cloves that you can use for storing next year, but they will give us nice green garlic stems. I'm not much bothered about the bulb, but they'll give us nice green garlic stems, which are kind of like a leek, and they'll be ready before the leeks are ready. So that's a win-win. So I hope you like this quick video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.